Good morning, my happy hour back. Here's the plan. We're going to start with a quick whiz back around the gazebo because the sound quality and the light on the clips at the end of yesterday were awful. So we'll start with that. Then we're going to see something new that they're doing in the dining room. There'll be more work on doors. There'll be lots of new white paint that we're probably not going to show you. Apart from that, there's more electrical going on still. I'm sure there's other stuff. More tiling. There'll be more tiling on the stairs. What could possibly go wrong? The gazebo, the outdoor kitchen. Last night, as I say, the light and the sound quality were terrible, so let's quickly catch up. I also misunderstood when I thought they were finishing. They didn't finish. They carried on, and they have now poured the concrete in all of the 8 bases for the columns. So those are now securely in place, and now they're getting to work on the tie beams. The beams that hold everything together, the belt, as it's been called here before. So here, Erwin has made a start down this side. He's made more than a start. We're about an hour and a half in. He's got most of the trench dug out for the tie beam that will go all the way from this end right the way down to the other end. And then it'll go across and it'll go all the way around the entire structure. Naming the swimming pool. I've had a couple of suggestions, but I want a lot more. Keep them coming, guys. I like the name Serena. My one concern with it is it's a bit close to our daughter's name, Sabrina. If at any point we're calling out to Sabrina, so come for lunch or something, I'm just slightly concerned the pool will mishear it, think it's the pool itself that's being called, and come wandering into the house, which would make quite a mess, really. So, I like Serena, but give me some more suggestions. We're in the dining room, and this is something that I completely misunderstood while they were fabricating it. I said I thought this was going to go as part of the structure for the gazebo. It's not. I'll show you where it's going to go. Just here. It's the beginnings of the false wall that will allow these sliding doors to kind of just disappear into the wall, if you like. So that frame will go up here, then it will be covered. They're actually going to use wood, which I'm not hugely enthused about, but as long as the builder does everything he can to termite proof that wood, I guess we're okay with it. And as we've said all the way along, ultimately it needs to be something that, with a little bit of effort, we can remove. Because there is always the chance that something happens to the tracks, top and bottom, that need some work. So we do have to be able to take this wall, the false part of it, we have to remove that, and hopefully then fix whatever the problem is with the track or the door. We looked at these riser tiles yesterday. There's no sign of Frederick at the moment. I might have missed him, he might be somewhere else, but no progress yet today. One question I did ask the engineer was the fact that you've got 2 tiles on each step, would they be able to make that join disappear, either completely or mostly? And his comment was he thinks it'll almost completely disappear. I suppose they found it difficult to find tiles that were long enough that you wouldn't have a join at all, which would have been better. But we'll have to wait and see how the end product looks. In fact, looking at this, I think Frederick must be around because there is another half step, if you like, 1 tile on the next one down. It was too dark to show last night, and it's still not exactly the lightest area in the house. But this is George's bathroom door. fixed in place. And right now they're working on the one for Alex's room. Still no sign of activity yet in the master bedroom, either for the bedroom door itself or the door into the bathroom, although that bathroom door will be different. And this is the door to Jack's bathroom. Again, all rather dark here, but you get the sense of it, hopefully. Looking down from Jack's balcony, something else you might start to get the sense of is the scale of the gazebo. It's going to be a really quite significant feature looking out the back of the house. In George's room, yet another adjustment to electrical outlet positions. They're being relocated so that there are outlets on either side of the headboard for the bed. Well, I was right about Frederick not being spotted. He's not here today so far. So, Elson, who normally is one of what they would call the labourers, he's obviously learned enough on the job to be entrusted with tiling. He's putting those tiles in on those risers. It's just after lunch, and right now we've got both the lead foreman Manny and the engineer Raphael checking on the trenches that are being dug for the tie beams, using a plumb bob to check perpendicularity. So the trench now almost extends all the way around the outside. Here at the small bathroom on this side of the sunroom, we're soon going to have a door, but a little bit more work to be done just at the moment. In the dining room, we've got the beginnings of our frame for our false wall, and in fact, over on the far side, there's another part of that frame as well. Here at the stairs, I think Elson must be getting a bit mad at me. Every time I come along, he's got to take a little break and let me pass. But I've got to get upstairs one way or another. So we now have tiles, well, what, 1, 2, 3 left to do on the upper section of this staircase. And then we'll have those tiles all in. There will, of course, on the sides, need to be quite a lot more done just there. This is Alex's bathroom, and the door is in. There is actually some finishing to be done, certainly on the edges, if not on the main front and back. In Aldrin's room, Bapa Jess now working on the second of these 2 sockets that'll be on either side of the bed. So on the right side, he's not only chipped out and done the wiring, he's plastered back in over the top. A little bit more chipping out still to be done on the one that he's working on right now. In Sabrina's bedroom, well, the door for the bathroom, Ernie's just painting up the edges here. I can show that, it's not white. 3 painters, all in one place. And it's okay, they're not actually painting at this very moment, so I can show it again. It's 4:30, the bell has gone. But, as you can see, some of the guys still here. Once again, 8 of them doing some overtime on this gazebo. We'll come back and have a look at this in a little bit, but first, we'll go back to the man who started it all, Mega Wega, who said the following. A gardener took his dog to the vet and said, he's not quite right. He's acting really depressed. He just lies around in the garden all day, making these kind of sighing noises. The vet said, oh, what do you grow? The gardener said, well, this year, mostly it's cantaloupe. Ah, said the vet knowingly. What is it then? Asked the gardener. He's a melancholy. I'll put it up on the screen. Right, let's go and see what's happened outside of this gazebo build. This is the bathroom that is in the sunroom. It's got a door. Bit different to the doors that we've used upstairs, and this one does require a lot of finishing. And the helper's room, same kind of door. In Alex's room, something that I must have missed. Those PVC panels above the TV cabinet are now below the TV cabinet as well. I assume that must have been done a day or two ago. And we have the same in Jack's room. Not yet in Sabrina's room. The outside bathroom. I don't think that got any attention today, with both Erwin and Coelito working on the gazebo. They had previously been the two guys working here. I think this one got a little bit abandoned. They'll come back to it, hopefully not too far into the future. So, we have got a total, again, of 8 guys are staying on, although there's only a couple in picture at the moment. And they'll be working, at the least, on tie beams. I'll show you what we've got so far. So here is a tie beam. This will run in all the trenches between all of the columns, and they've got some in place already. I'll show you that now. Along most of this side, well, I say most, probably 2/3 of it, they have put down gravel and they have put a tie beam down waiting to be concreted in, and it will also be tied into those columns. There are also additional rebar being put in place horizontally between the columns. What's that, about a foot above the level of the soil, 30 centimetres? And they're also now putting in vertical rebar. All of this is just to be additional support for the walls here. It's 5:45 and I think they're calling it a night, which is lucky, because any later than this, and we saw from last night's footage, it just gets too dark to really come out. So, what have they done? They have poured concrete all along the far side, all along this end, and halfway along here. So they've reached this column with concrete, and you might notice around all of the columns they do put in concrete hollow blocks as forms to just retain that concrete, so they're not filling in too big a space. But all of that is done, along with this extra rebar level, the one that we saw the beginning of a little earlier, about a foot above the ground, which have now been tied in to all the vertical rebar. So with that, they're about to have some calamari, and then they'll be off. A long day, hard work, more of the same tomorrow. See you then.